After previously filming 3 or 4 different Kraken videos for my channel, this is the video that I've been really looking forward to filming. Before I go any further, I need to give a big shout out to one of my members, Ian Naylor. Thank you so much. And Ian's sister-in-law. I forget where you are now, sister-in-law, and I don't know your name, but I think you're in Portland in Oregon. So thank you so much, Ian and sister-in-law, for getting this bottle over from the US over to me in the UK. As I say, it has been one of these videos that I've been looking forward to filming for so long. The previous 3 or 4 videos that I filmed loosely regarding Kraken have been so divisive with comments. So many people have come out, oh, I absolutely love this rum. It's my favourite rum. It's amazing. How can you hate on it? And we go to the other side. This rum is so sweet. It's so sickly. How can you love it? There was something going on that I could not get my head around. And when I kind of drilled down a little bit, the one thing I found was that most of the love was coming out of the US and most of the hate was coming out of the UK. Now, of course, there are going to be UK people that really love Kraken. Of course there is. And there's going to be US people that really hate Kraken. Of course there is. But I'm talking about the masses, the people that felt strong enough to comment. And the love, as I say, was out of the US. The hate was out of the UK. Why? The only thing I could really kind of get through to myself was that it was a different rum. And it is. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, the UK Kraken is 40% ABV, so 80 proof. The US Kraken, as you will see from the label, is 94 proof, which makes it 47% ABV, so 7% stronger. Now, you might not think 7% would make that much difference. But I've already done the tasting and I've done the nosing. I can tell you that it does. Now, just before I go any further, I just want to do one thing and sort of work one thing with you. I've turned sort of semi-rum geek. I've invested in a hydrometer. Now, what the hydrometer kind of does, and bearing in mind, this is me still getting used to it, still in the early days. My calculations will be slightly off. The temperature this is calibrated to 20 degrees C. It's 19 degrees in here. So this is not official figures. I'm not going to tell you this is exactly how much sugar goes into this. All I'm giving you is rough ballparks, okay? So please allow for some variance. But the point is, I'm confident to do it with the same brand. And I'm confident that no matter what the variance is, this will relate because this is effectively the same rum, the same brand. However, I wouldn't be that confident in sort of comparing like a Kraken to another spiced rum because there'll be other things at play. So what the hydrometer essentially does, you fill in your rum into this sort of test tube up to 100 ml. This will bob around. Once you pop it in, this will bob around and it'll tell you the ABV that it's reading at. Okay, so what that does, it's going to tell you the variance. Then what that actually refers to is the density change. Because we know, even if I pour that into there, we know that that's 40% ABV, even though, and I'll come on to it now. So I've done the UK, and you'll understand this now. So I started off with the UK on the hydrometer test. I poured it in there. This was bobbing around at 30% ABV, which is telling us that there's a variance that it thinks of 10%. The hydrometer thinks it's a 30% rum. Now, as I say, we know it's a 40% rum. So all that is a density change, which is additives, essentially. Additives have been added. So after I've done the rough calculations on this, I can roughly surmise that give or take, there is roughly 35 grams of sugar added to the UK Kraken. As I say, please allow for some variance. That's not an official, but that's roughly give or take. All right, 35 grams of sugar. When I did the US Kraken, 47% ABV. This was now bobbing around at 42% ABV. So again, when I did the calculations, this is roughly coming out at 22 grams of sugar. So a little bit, please allow, as I say, please allow for variance. Please don't take those as gospel. I don't know. But what we can take from that is that there is a huge, regardless of what the variance is, there is a huge difference in sugar levels between the UK and the US. So where do we go from here? Let's get on to the nosing before we get onto the tasting. So this, I found this quite interesting. I've made notes so I don't forget to tell you anything on here. So the smell. The UK one, up front, and you can't mistake it, is like sweet vanilla, sweet caramel on the nose. A bit of subtle spice going on, but those are the two things that you really get up top on the nose. Not really, nothing really else to tell you there. It smells like it's going to be sweet, okay, but vanilla forward. On the US one, the first thing I got, and I've put a note there, is nostril burn. That really hit my, after smelling that, that really hit my nostrils. The extra alcohol on there, you know it's there straight away. The vanilla is still there, but it's nowhere near as sweet. It's nowhere near as punching forward. It's kind of a lovely dialed back vanilla on that, on the US Kraken. So that's the big variance. There's nothing else really going on the nose. On the tasting, however, the UK on the tasting, and this really kind of shocks me actually. The only way I can describe this is quite viscous. It's a very posh word for me, but that's the only way I can describe it. There is a little bit of thickness, a little bit of sweetness that kind of coats the mouth, sticks to your gums. It's like a little bit of cloyingly sweet. Now, I know there are plenty of spiced rums with a lot more sugar added to what this is, a lot more. So please don't take that as a bad reflection. Spiced rums are inherently sweeter. All I'm saying is this really does cling to your teeth. But tasting, I get vanilla, I get caramel, I get a little bit of spice on there. And the interesting thing I got off that was a little bit of mocha. It kind of reminds me, if you went to Costa or Starbucks or somewhere like that, Cafe Nero, where, and you got a kind of mocha or an express choc or whatever they call it, chocolate and coffee. There's a little subtle hint of that. But the only other thing I really get off it is cinnamon. It's a very uncomplicated, dark, spiced rum in that sense. But the sweetness is there. Now, for the US one, instantly, the vanilla is more punchy, but the first thing you get is the peppery alcohol bite, and it's a nice alcohol. It's not a horrible ethanol, which is reminiscent in some, is that the right word? Or which is there in some spiced rums. I actually think the quality of the rum is not too bad. I don't think it's a terrible rum compared to other spiced rums, because that is very much a nice rum burn onto it, not an ethanol burn. You can easily tell the difference. I couldn't when I first started until I'd had some of those rums where they really were ethanol, that really bitter ethanol sort of bite to them. It's actually a lot more rummy. So I've put way more vanilla up top, rounded. It is nowhere near as sweet. It doesn't cling to your gums. It doesn't coat your tongue as such. There is a little bit there, but nowhere near as the UK Kraken. I've put more coffee, more cinnamon, alcohol, peppery burn to finish, but it's a nice heat and a prickly heat. I totally get now why UK, let's relate this to UK. I totally get why UK rum fans, proper rum fans, absolutely hate on that. I totally get it, because it is more syrupy. If you're used to drinking proper rum and then you try that, that is sweeter. It does coat your tongue and coat your gums. So relating this to the Rum X app and the scores, how I'd compare these for scores. If I was going to score these out of 100, I would give that as, I'd put that in the pleasant category. Pleasant is 60 to 69. So the UK one, 60 to 69. I would have to go, I've tasted better spiced rums. I would have to go 65. I'm just going to go middle of the road. I've tasted a lot better, but I've also tasted a lot worse. It is a decent spiced rum. The US Kraken, I think I'm going to have to, I'm just looking at the scores here. 70 to 79 is good. I don't think it's very good, because there are more spiced rums that I do love. But I'm going to get as close to the very good as I can. And I'm going to score this 78, 79 out of 100, because it is so different to the UK version. So different. And it begs the question, and I really don't understand this from brands. I get they kind of go to the market demand. I get that. I get the UK because we are spiced rum lovers in the UK. But why the hell do you not give us the option? If you have to formulate a rum for two different, like Captain Morgan's does, for example, Sailor Jerry does, if you have to formulate a rum for two different markets, Why not just give us the choice? Why not give us both? Because I've got a sneaky suspicion, all right, price is going to have a bit to do with it as well, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that if you sold that in the UK, would probably give Kraken a better name and you'd actually sell more.